Alright, took a little holiday over the weekend and time to get back to work. So I've got to take this thing off again. Unbelievable disaster, you know, typical, you know, the spring boing goes popping out on you. The worst problem is inside there is a washer that fits on the bolt. And every time you turn this thing up to put it on, you can't put yeah, it's unbelievable. So the washer is dropped down again. If I pull it, it'll pull. If I tighten it, it won't pull because the washer is falling in there again. And I had to tape it all up and everything just to keep it together long enough to put on there. What a absolute ridiculous. Now I think I've got enough on the spring, wound up enough. Ah, shit. God bless America. Right off the bat, boy, here we go. All right, so I just pulled the plugs out and wanted to see what it felt like. No compression on it. That's and the flywheel's spinning a little better than it was with the plugs in. I think that's more than enough. Watch from back here. Let's see how far I can pull it. You know, if it was coming out the hole right here. Isn't that enough for this little motor? That should be enough. All right, so I got this old hypodermic needle. And you know, that's way too much. I'm just going to put a little few, if I can do it gently. A little bit in that one, a little bit in that one. Put the plugs in, finger tight. Give her a couple of pulls. I just want to see that flywheel spin a little better. Feels fine. Oh, you know what too? This doesn't work. It's stripped. Might be able to fix that. Oh boy, that knob don't want to come off. Oh, there it is. So we might be able to use this to adjust both of them. Nope. Look at the letters are still, or the numbers are still on the carb. 385183. Needle looks good. I'm gonna guess that manual is gonna give me the settings for this carb. If you don't have that bottom wide open setting close, you'll never get the top set. You won't even get it to start. Oh, wow. I've been looking for the little holes. Can't see them, but they're in there. To get the flashlight. See, you can take these out, pop them out, and then clean the little holes out. But man, they're a major pain in the ass to get back in, even if it's new. So I quit doing that. I just get me a little poker and stick it down there in the holes, blow it out, get a little puddle and watch the puddle drip out. But I'm gonna have to get the flashlight and see just where they're at. It's deep and dark in there. And like I said too, you can shove this thing in here, give it a shot. Oh yeah, you see it come shooting up, all three of them. See it? Perfect. Alright, so the specs for the carb, pretty standard. Back to high speed needle out 3/4 turn, the low speed out 1 3/4 turn. So two more things real quick. The auto light 303s are a match for the Champion, I think it said 6C6. And when you put your float in, you want to make sure it's level with the bowl or level with the body. No gasket on it all the way around. Alright, so the carb's back in, and I couldn't tighten down the, you know, the lock nuts, whatever you want to call them, on the high speed, low speed, because it needs to be adjusted. So after you adjust it, then you tighten them down a little bit. I just got them in there snug. Hopefully it's not going to cause any air leaks or anything. It shouldn't, because the packing in there looked so good. Also, what I did on the brass, the top of the brass needles, and scratched a line in them, because you can't see, you know, once you seat it, you can't see where it's moving and how far you're moving it. So I scratched a line in it. It's still hard to see. Before I put the fuel line on, I want to check and see if that pump is working. Ooh, that was a lot. All right, let me pull on it. If the pump works, it should spit fuel. Yes, it works. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, baby. All right, a little bit more choke. Flooding it now, probably. Come on now. We give it a little more throttle. I don't know on these things. There you go. Let's give it a little more. Like I said, these needles and those lock nuts, they're just finger tight. Give them a little more. A little bit more so we're not sucking air. I can see fuel now in the bowl, or in the throat of the carb. Hee. Alright, that's all I want to do. We're putting a new impeller in anyway, so don't worry about that. And that was one of the first things I noticed when he brought it here. We were, you know, fooling around with it, and I said, I can't hear the impeller. Usually you hear the squishy, rubbery sound when you turn this. Look how nice this turns. Now I just want to start it and play with it. Alright, I'm finding out why it didn't want to run for very long. You may be able to see my scratch mark right there. So I took this clamp and I'm going to clamp it on so I can turn this thing. And what I'm finding out is, look, I didn't even have it close to being seated. Now I'm hitting the stop up here. So I don't know where it's at until I back it out some more. That's why she wouldn't run. I was just doing it by hand and it stopped for me. Alright, let's start it again. Should purr like a kitty. Bring it, oops, throttle. Right about there. I didn't screw with the bottom one. I think I'm 3/4 turn out where I scratched it. I left it alone. Check my fuel. Yeah, she's pumped. Give her a little choke. More throttle. Wow, that didn't help it. It's doing the same thing even after all of that. And it's loose again. I gotta have something to adjust it or all of this is just useless. Yay! Now she sounds like a motor. Like I said, we're putting a new impeller in. I don't even think there's one in there. I can't hear anything. Now it said in there, when you adjust the timing mark to adjust the cam, because there's no adjustment on the follower. There's two little bolts right here. Loosen this. Now, see, that's what I was afraid of. It was already adjusted all the way out. See how this moves? I could already see it. Let's put the drill on it one more time. We don't know what's under the flywheel, so we'll find out here in a minute. Where's my... See, I'm not sure this is exactly... If I'm, you know... I thought I had it close, but... Let's see where that is. Fuel pump might not be working. Let's see where this is. Empty. It's the same thing that happened on this frickin' motor. This thing, I don't know if this bulb is working or what's going on. Either the bulb is just letting this run back down or the fuel pump's not working. But it seemed, it showed it was spitting out. Oh yeah, baby. She looks good. Those are like new. Well, this appears to be right where it needs to be. Got my feeler in there. Boom, and it's falling out right there. Put it back in. Could be just a hair snugger. Still open. It's closing up. It's tight, it's tight, it's tight, it's tight. It's coming to the high point on the cam and boom. Right on the high point. I think I can give it just a hair, just to snug it, just a hair. Let me see what this did. Boy, those are new. They look new. Alright, so got the flywheel back on. Tracy just stopped by. Choked it up a little bit. Pulled on it, nothing happened. Pulled the choke out again, hit it with the drill, it fired right up. Turned it off. Went to pull start it, fired right up. Turned it off. Let's see what happens right now by hand. Choke is on. Oh yeah. Pushed it back in. Oh yeah. A little more throttle. No, come on, baby. You need a little more choke. She likes to choke. They're juiced up a little bit. Boom, it works. So, she needs some choke. I'm gonna pull that gear case off. Gear case, see what's going on down there. The grommet looks good. Boy, that grommet for that little frickin' pipe looks like a normal sized grommet. That pipe in there is skinny. Boy, there's one in there. Maybe this is why, because it's so greasy. But I mean, that very first day that he brought it over here and spun it around, I'm like, man, I don't hear anything down there. Man, there's nothing wrong with this. It just got so greasy, it wasn't making any noise. Look at all that. Where did all that come from? That had to be before us, before me. Alright, so she likes choke, right? Just for the hell of it. Let's see what happens if I don't choke it. See, this thing should stay juiced up. Alright, let's choke it. Too many pulls. What's going on here? Maybe I need more rope. Damn fireball on this thing. Over here. Oh man, all you gotta do is just touch that thing. And then to try to turn it back is ridiculous. This back where I had it. I need to try another clamp on here. My shoes and socks are soaked now. And these Walmart shoes, whenever they get wet, they start to stink. It should hand fire. You don't want to do nothing without some choke. I may need to redo this. I may need a little bit more line on it. It seemed to me a little motor like this should be starting. One more time with the drill. It shouldn't be this freaking difficult. Oh, again, I don't give it any damn throttle. Man, I just... bulb is full. Baby, God bless America. That's it for me, man. The primer's staying full. You know, fuel is dripping out of the front of the carburetor. Oh man, I'm soaked. It really needs to be in the water on the boat to set that high speed. We'll come up with something and try it tomorrow.